1918 His Family by Ernest Poole.
1919 The Magnificent Ambersons by Tarkington.
1921 The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton.
1922 Alice Adams by Booth Tarkington.
1923 One of Ours by Willa Cather.
1924 The Able McLaughlins by Margaret Wilson.
1925 So Big by Edna Ferber.
1926 Arrowsmith by Sinclair Lewis.
1927 Early Autumn by Louis Bromfield.
1928 The Bridge of San Luis Rey by Wilder.
1929 Scarlet's Sister Mary by Julia Peterkin.
1930 Laughing Boy by Oliver Lafarge.
1931 Years of Grace by Margaret Airbarnes.
1932 The Good Earth by Pearl Buck.
1933 The Store by Thomas Sigismund Stribling.
1934 Lamb in His Bosom by Caroline Miller.
1935 Now in November by Josephine Johnson.
1936 Honey in the Horn by Harold L. Davis.
1937 Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell.
1938 The Late George Apley by Marquand.
1939 The Yearling by Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings.
1940 The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck.
1941 For Whom the Bell Tolls by Hemingway.
1942 In This Our Life by Ellen Glasgow.
1943 Dragon's Teeth by Upton Sinclair.
1944 Journey in the Dark by Martin Flavin.
1945 A Bell for Adano by John Hersey.
1946 All the King's Men by Robert Warren.
1947 Tales of the South Pacific by Michener.
1948 The Naked and the Dead by Mailer.
1949 Guard of Honor by James Gould Cozzens.
1950 The Way West by A.B. Guthrie Jr.
1951 The Town by Conrad Richter.
1952 The Caine Mutiny by Herman Wouk.
1953 The Old Man and the Sea by Hemingway.
1955 A Fable by William Faulkner.
1956 Andersonville by McKinley Cantor.
1957 The Field of Vision by Wright Morris.
1958 A Death in the Family by James Agee.
1959 The Travels of JAIMIE McPHEETERS by Taylor.
1960 Advise and Consent by Alan Drury.
1961 To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee.
1962 The Edge of Sadness by Edwin O'Connor.
1963 The Reivers by William Faulkner.
1965 The Keepers of the House by Shirley Grau.
1967 The Fixer by Bernard Malamud.
1968 The Confessions of Nat Turner by Styron.
1969 Housemaid of Dawn by Momaday.
1970 Collected Stories by Jean Stafford.
1972 Angle of Repose by Wallace Stegner.
1973 The Optimist's Daughter by Eudora Welty.
1975 The Killer Angels by Michael Shira.
1976 Humboldt's Gift by Saul Bellow.
1978 Elbow Room by James Allen McPherson.
1979 The Stories of John Cheever by Cheever.
1980 The Executioner's Song by Mailer.
1981 A Confederacy of Dunces by John Toole.
1982 Rabbit is Rich by John Updike.
1983 The Color Purple by Alice Walker.
1984 Ironweed by William Kennedy.
1985 Foreign Affairs by Alison Lurie.
1986 Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry.
1987 A Summons to Memphis by Peter Taylor.
1988 Beloved by Toni Morrison.
1989 Breathing Lessons by Ann Tyler.
1990 The Mambo Kings Play Songs by Hijuelos.
1991 Rabbit at Rest by John Updike.
1992 A Thousand Acres by Jane Smiley.
1993 A Good Scent from a Strange by Butler.
1990 For the Shipping News by Annie Proulx.
1995 The Stone Diaries by Carol Shields.
1996 Independence Day by Richard Ford.
1997 Martin Dressler by Stephen Milhauser.
1998 American Pastoral by Philip Roth.
1999 The Hours by Michael Cunningham.
2000 Interpreter of Maladies by Jhumpa Lahiri.
2001 The Amazing Adventures of.
2002 Empire Falls by Richard Russo.
2003 Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides.
2000 For the Known World by Edward Jones.
2005 Gilead by Mary-Lynn Robinson.
2006 March by Geraldine Brooks.
2007 The Road by Cormac McCarthy.
2008 The Brief Wondrous Life by Junot Diaz.
2009 Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout.
2010 Tinkers by Paul Harding.
2011 A Visit from the Goon Squad by Egan.
2013 The Orphan Master's Son by Johnson.
2014 The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt.
2015 All the Light We Cannot See by Dorr.
2016 The Sympathizer by Viet Thanh Nguyen.
2017 The Underground Railroad by Whitehead.
2018 Less by Andrew Sean Greer.
2019 The Overstory by Richard Powers.
2020 The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead.
2021 The Night Watchman by Erdrich.
2022 The Netanyahus by Joshua Cohen.
2023 Demon Copperhead by Kingsolver.
2023 Trust by Hernan Diaz.